Canva Code, Canva Code, Canva Code, codes. Hi everyone. In this video we're going to be looking at Canva Code. Now you might be thinking, I'm not a coder, I don't code, that's what coders do. But you don't have to do any coding, Canva does it all for you. So let me show you. So on the Canva homepage, if I click on Canva AI and codes, you'll be given a space to actually type in what you want the code to do. But you might be thinking, I have no idea what I want it to do for me. There are a couple of prompts here, but a little bit further down, there are a pile of templates which you could potentially use. If I choose this one here, an interactive flashcard game, and I scroll back up, it's put the prompt in for me, so it's saying that it's going to make it for Spanish language, so I can edit this so it fits what I want it to do. But just for the time being, I'm going to press the submit button and see what it generates for us. Hello, Future Rob here. For the remainder of this video, past Rob was going to show you how this Spanish language flashcard resource was going to be made and edited. But as a lecturer of computing and IT, I know, sounds fancy, doesn't it? It would make more sense if I showed you something that I was more than likely going to use. So what I've done in my projects, if I scroll down a little bit, you'll see that I've uploaded this types of players presentation. And in this presentation, we basically talk about and give definitions of types of players of games based on their age, based on their gender, based on how kind of many hours they spend playing games. And when it gets to slide number 10, normally what I do, I have this up on the board and I'll say, right, can someone in the class tell me a game which is aimed at young adults, which might be boys, which might be an immersive game. And that works quite well, but more often than not, I forget certain combinations or I end up saying those combinations more than once. So I do a little bit of coding, but I'm no David Reed or Leslie Hughes. So rather than spend hours and hours trying to get something to work myself, I'm going to use Canva Code to do that for me. So for the time being, I'm just going to close down this presentation. I'm going to go back onto home where we've got Canva AI and codes, and I'm going to paste my prompt in, which I've already copied. And basically, this is what this is saying is, from those free lists, can you pick out one of those options when I press this choose button, and can you make sure that I don't end up kind of displaying the same combination more than once then. So let's press submit and see what that makes. Oh, that's cool. It's actually showing us the code which is being generated. So this looks like it's HTML code or CSS, I think it is. I could potentially try to do this myself, but I'm never going to keep up to the speed of how quickly these lines are being made. Now, it's not to say that you are expected to understand any of this code. It's just to say that it's showing you what it's doing in the background. Great, so it's generated that for us, so that's quite nice. They're moving at kind of a good speed, and I'm assuming that if I press choose, yay, so primary school children, boys, primary school children, female casual, and I press choose again, and it'll do the next one for me. So that's kind of doing like that. Now, there might be a couple of things I'm not happy about there. And over on the left-hand side, it shows me that this is version number 1. And it also shows me that these are the things which you could potentially change to make it improved or more like I wanted it to make. So if I'm going to type something in here in a moment, and that will become version 2. And if that doesn't quite work, I'll come back onto version number 1. A couple of things I want to do. Can I have the columns, what are they referred to as? Are they called columns? Yeah, columns. Can I have the 3 columns moving at the same speed? I think they are, but I just want to make sure they are moving at the same speed. I'm basically just going to give it a load of questions. Can the background of the colors of the columns be white? And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for the time being. So let's see what that does when I press that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I am probably going to ask it to fix that primary school children part because I don't like the way that's kind of not in line with those. But I'm happy at this time being for it. And as I said, now this is version 2. If I wasn't happy, I could just go scroll back up and click on version number 1. Now then, to make this accessible and viewable for our learners. So I am going to put it into my presentation, as I said, but just to point out over here on the top right, if I click on publish, it generates a URL address for me if I press publish. So I could potentially share this website address with the learners, or I could actually just get it up on screen for me so I could view it on a website. And as I'm pressing choose, it loads up the options like so. That's pretty cool. I like the way that looks. So I'm just going to close that a second because, like I said, I don't want to kind of give it to them as a link. I want it to be built into my presentation. So if I click on use in a design and I click on presentation, what it does then, it generates a presentation with just that on there. So I might want to kind of look at maybe changing it so it's a little bit bigger. But the reason why I've kind of selected to say use in the design, because within my projects now, yeah, there it is. It is loading up. Basically, this is this here copy of unique random selection. So might want to rename that. But the idea is, I've built this, so we'll go into my types of players presentation. But before I do, I've got a little bit of adjustment to make. So I can get back to it by going back to home and back to Canva AI and clicking on codes. And underneath that then you'll see that there's the unique random selector which I've made, as well as the Spanish thing I did. So if I click on see all and I click back on that, then it will allow me to go back in and edit it. And if I wanted to get rid of it, so I don't want the Spanish one, so I'm probably going to delete that chat. So let's just click on that to see where it takes us back to. It's going to ask me if I want to look at version 2 or version 1. I was quite happy with version 2. And I'm just going to adjust it because there are a couple of things on there which I'm not happy with. Right, so I've done a few adjustments. I've got up to version number 9 because I've been asking it to change things to get it the way I look. And hopefully now when I click on using a design and click on presentation, it should load up more or less the way I want it to load up. Yeah, that'll do. It's not quite filling the entire screen, but that's not far from it. Hi, future Rob here. Past future Rob clearly hasn't done a good job at typing in prompts for the Canva code to work with. How on earth did he get up to 9 versions? To avoid his mistake, it's probably a good idea to scroll down to beneath this video within the description, follow this link, and it'll give you Canva code prompts guidance. Anyway, back to past future Rob. Now then, back on my projects, if I head back to my types of players presentation, because this is what I've made it for, and if I go across to slide number 10, I'm then going to go to projects on the left hand side and click on the most recent one I've done. And it'll ask me if I want to add a new page or if I want to replace this current page here. Now, I'm just going to do add as new page because I want to see what it looks like on screen in comparison to what I used to have. And that actually looks pretty good, so I'm going to remove that now. And if I just do my presentation from this point, so if I present it and go on to that particular slide and I press choose, then it does the job for me. Great, that's fantastic. So, in a nutshell, that's Canva Code. In our next video, we're going to be looking at collaborating and sharing.